All right, let's start with the big story that we're tracking on Wion at this hour, where there is information that has come in that it is quite likely that the poll dates are likely to be announced by about 5 p.m. this evening. And to give us more information on this, we're joined in by our senior political affairs editor, Karthikeya Sharma, who's joining us live from New Delhi. Good morning to you, Karthikeya. So what is the latest on the story?
5 p.m. and the election dates will be announced. So finally, we can say for sure that 5 p.m. Election Commission of India in New Delhi from the Gyan Bhavan will be announcing the dates of the elections. And whether it's going to be a 7-phase election, 8-phase election, we'll come to know. There were a lot of speculation that the dates are, it's getting late, or election dates are not being announced on time.
Right.
But I think everything was on time, and this will give roughly, if I am not wrong, every political party a campaign time of 40 days, 35 to 40 days.
Right.
But then we have to understand, Saleh, that the polling will begin in April itself, and it will conclude in May. Last year, by 8th April, all the pollings were over.
Absolutely, indeed. Now, there was a lot of speculation. It was being said that the poll dates should have been announced by the Election Commission by the 4th of March. It's now being done on the 10th. And there were certain murmurs that were doing the rounds as to why the poll dates announcement was being delayed by the Election Commission. So is that now going to be put to rest, Karthikeya?
Well, obviously, now, not only that is being put to rest, but I think the larger issue is that speculation ends. Now, this is a time when the country goes into poll mode. You have a caretaker government. No policy decisions will be taken. No new policies will be announced. This time, I would say, when 2014, the parties were in big election mode. Press conferences were taking place one after another. Important interviews were being given, but none of that sort has happened. Even if you look at the schedule of the Prime Minister, he is being busy doing rallies, but it's not as if he has gone into a high drive mode, or even the party has not gone into that. I think this election is slightly different in context that somehow the preparations have gone. It's slightly late, I would say.
Right.
It does not remind me of 2014. Because by 2014, January, the country was in election mode. This time it's March, and
Right.
there is very little to be seen except Prime Minister's rally.
All right, you've followed elections for several years, Karthikeya. Last time round in 2014, it was a very high-octane election campaign that was played out by the BJP and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Congress had been on the defensive. But this time round, it appears to be low-intensity campaigning. What do you think could be the reason for that?
I think low-intensity campaigning because a lot of goalposts shifted. Pulwama happened. Other political parties felt that they should not be getting into a mode whereby they should be questioning the actions of the soldiers, but somehow it all got politicized. So this is the first time where a cross-border action is taking place so close to Lok Sabha elections.
Right.
Secondly, I would say in this election, for the first time, the Prime Minister himself has become a very important figure. So the election for large part of the country is either you vote for him or you vote against him. So,
Right.
the Mahagathbandhan, the Grand Alliance has not emerged. So, when you don't have a combined opposition in front of a huge hegemonic party, then what do you do? All these are questions. But nonetheless, Indian democracy throws up a lot of surprises. No one expected that Rajiv Gandhi will lose half of his seats. And from
Absolutely.
420, he came down to 190 seats. And no one thought that Congress party will touch 44. From 209 went down to 44. So in elections in India, threw up a lot of surprises. Even Indira Gandhi and Sanjay Gandhi lost their elections in 1977.
I think that's a very significant point. Do stay on with us, Karthikeya. We'll need your inputs on the other big story that we're also tracking, where the Indian Election Commission has, of course, cracked its whip. It has issued an advisory to all political parties across the country and has asked them in no uncertain terms to refrain from using photographs of defense personnel in their election campaigns. Now, in the advisory, the poll commission has said, and I quote here, the commission is of the view that photographs of the chiefs of the army staff or any other defense personnel and photographs of functions of the defense forces should not be associated with or used in any manner in advertisements, for propaganda, for campaigning, or in any other manner in connection with the elections by political parties and candidates. Now, the 2013 advisory was in fact sent after the Defence Ministry complained that photographs of defence personnel are being used by political parties for advertisements as a part of their propaganda. Now, the Election Commission's advisory comes against the backdrop of a political hoarding using the Indian Air Force Wing Commander Abhinandan Varthaman's image alongside that of other party leaders. Now, the Election Commission has also asked the political parties and leaders to exercise great restraint and caution while making references to the armed forces during the political campaigning, stating in no uncertain terms that the army and the images of the army and the bravery of the army cannot be used for any kind of political propaganda. Now, Karthik, if I can come to you on this, this is a very significant advisory that's now been given by the Election Commission. And considering what has happened in Pulwama, so close to the elections, do you think this was something that was done right by the Chief Election Commission? All right, there seems to be a bit of a problem with the line with Karthik Sharma there. We'll try reconnect with him. But this of course, is a significant development where the Election Commission has, of course, issued an advisory to political parties and has said that the army and any function of the army or any individual of the army cannot be used by any political party for carrying out campaigning.